Hey, howdy, howdy, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. And I'll tell you what, we got quite the turnaround in weather coming as it's bitterly cold, obviously, this morning. Probably one of the only mornings that we could say that this winter so far. We did have a couple of brutally cold days after the pre-Christmas blizzard, as I called it. But since then, nothing extremely cold, at least in southern lower Michigan. So here we go. We're looking at a big turnaround that's going to last, for the most part, into at least mid-February, maybe late February. And I say that because the afternoons will be warmer than normal. The mornings will be warmer than normal. But a warmer than normal morning in February is still cold. It's still below freezing. It's still in the teens and 20s at times. So let's get to it. The wind chill advisory has been canceled for lower Michigan as temperatures come up slightly on the wind chills during the afternoon. But winter weather advisories in the purple shaded counties for some bands of lake effect snow. You can see those here on the radar, not real evident. Northeast of the Traverse City area, Kalkaska, Antrim County, then across the eastern part of the UP, and then in the very southwest corner, west of Holland, hugging the shore into South Haven. But boy, this has a map with pretty colors on it, doesn't it? Except the pretty colors don't represent pretty weather, do they? These are the wind chills. So, single digits to teens below zero on wind chills. Grin and bear it for a day, and then it's a big turnaround on the way. Hey, poetry. So let's start with that, a big turnaround. These are the high temperature forecasts for each day over the next 10 days, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Today, highs in the, let's call it 10 to 15 degree range for southern lower, mostly around 10, 11, 12, something like that. Definitely the coldest day of the season, I would say. Hey, good morning, Karen Jacobs from Bay City. And Patricia Jarvis checking in from Mooresville, North Carolina this morning. So these are the high temperatures today. And then these are the high temperatures tomorrow, 20 plus degrees warmer. So there you are, 34 in Flint and Lansing and Jackson, 35 in Grand Rapids tomorrow, 33 Saginaw Bay City, Midland, Ann Arbor, 32-ish. Sunday, 39 Flint, Saginaw Bay City, 42 Flint, Ann Arbor, Detroit area, Oakland County, 37 Grand Rapids. Even in the north, looking at temperatures in the 30s. Monday, mid to upper 30s. Tuesday, 40s, flirting with 50 degrees. Saginaw, Flint, Oakland County, Ann Arbor, Howell, Detroit area, 44 Grand Rapids. Wednesday, 50 degrees, kind of common in a lot of places. Traverse City, 44. Grand Rapids, 49. All along the I-94 corridor, 50-ish. Thursday, 50 from Grand Rapids to Saginaw southward. So we're going to have 3 days next week where we flirt with 50 degrees. Hey, Craig Thornton, any more chances of snow? Are we headed for spring? So I want to emphasize this. That's a great question, Craig Thornton. Any more snow? Yes, definitely. Even though we're talking about warmer than normal February, we can sneak a snow or two in there. And then there are signs that we'll probably have a turnaround to colder than normal. It's been the trend in this decade as we get into somewhere in March and last into early April. Obviously, it's hard to be as cold as midwinter at that time period. And we obviously kind of readjust our feeling of cold. I always find it amazing that 40 degrees on January 1st feels like it's balmy, and 40 degrees on March 25th feels like the coldest day of the year. So yes, snow still, um, maybe the biggest snowstorm still to come in the southeastern half of lower Michigan. Um, but if you get through February without much winter weather, you're pretty much escaping long lasting winter. What happens in March if we get a snowstorm is it's melted usually in 3 days. If we get a snowstorm in early April, certainly not out of the question. Um, it's gone in a day or two, something like that. So we pick up. Here's Thursday of next week. Here's Friday of next week, low 40s. Here's Saturday of next week, low to mid 30s. Here's Sunday, February 12th, mid 30s. So, indeed we have some chilly days, but all warmer than normal. Now, what about precipitation? The storms are backing off to about once a week. So here is our model, and we go through. And what I want you to notice is we're in the deep cold with a lot of blue lines to our south. And then notice as we go to Saturday, the red line's approaching. That's the warmer air aloft. And then as we go into early next week, the red line's even going farther north. This is Monday, Tuesday for a possible rain. Show that to you in the precip type forecast here in just a moment. Then here's Wednesday, and here's Thursday. Look at this, a storm coming from the south without even really much of a pocket of cold air with it. Just a little bit on the backside of it. Now we're out to February 11th and 12th, and yeah, we can inch back to some wintry temperatures, but look at February 13th. Already another mild surge heading our way. Now, here's the precipitation type. The lake effect snow for today. You can find 2 to 5 inches in isolated spots, northwest, Kalkaska, Antrim County, and then the far southwest. Stay away from the shoreline in the southwest, and you'll be fine. And then as we go into the weekend, it's dry. Here's our chance of a rain shower on Tuesday. And then look at the next storm system. Does that say winter? No, it doesn't. That's next Thursday. Low pressure center in Lake Michigan, Michigan in the warm sector of the storm, and just a struggling pocket of cold on February 10th, bringing a mixture there. Kenny Hatch, have we reached peak ice coverage on the Great Lakes? Yes, we have. Because of the weather that we have in the next couple of weeks, there will be no way for it to rebuild on ice. So yes, we have. So there you have it. The story here is very cold today and some isolated heavy lake effect snow. Stay away from the lakeshore if you're driving, say, to the Chicago area, and you'll avoid it altogether because it's hugging the shoreline. And then the quick turnaround to milder weather. I don't want to use the word warm, but by the time we get to next week and we're at 50 degrees, you'll say it's warm for February, and we could have a couple of days of that. So very interesting weather scenario. I'm always trying to keep you ahead with the next thing. And of course, the next thing in all of our minds, including mine, is when does the shoe drop? When does it flip-flop and we go into a harsh winter pattern? So I'm working on that with a few scientists, meteorologists, PhDs that study this kind of thing, and they hinge it to what we call a sudden stratospheric warming. So the stratosphere is way up there, and when it warms all of a sudden, it kind of pushes on the lower level of the atmosphere, and it gets the weather moving. And they tend to find that a couple of weeks after that sudden stratospheric warming, the eastern U.S. can turn colder than normal. You got to have the cold air up there to come down here, and we don't so far. So we're going to be working on that. But for now, get set for possibility of getting an outside project done next week in the milder weather. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Have yourselves a great weekend. It's a good sign you won't see me this weekend. That means the weather is okay. Take care. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.